Ignacio.
Well, what's up, Carter? And hello to all the Bondex. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are. And we have a very special edition today. Carter is at OKX. Really needs no introduction, but obviously it's one of the leading global crypto exchanges and one of the most innovative Web3 companies in the space. It's trusted by more than 50 million global users as they offer, secure and trustworthy platform that provides responsible crypto traders with innovative tools to access the world of crypto. And Carter, who I've actually gotten to know for quite a while now, I believe we met at ETHCC in Denver quite a while back with
Yeah, yeah.
the members of the team. And welcome to Bondex Talks. Here we host, all kinds of topics with all wide-ranging, interesting guests from all companies all over the Web3 space. And today we're really diving into the world of digital assets with you. And I know you lead the partnership side of things for the marketplace and Discover at OKX Wallet. I would love to hear more about that, but it's obviously one of the leading platforms in the crypto space. You guys are a leader in also with the wallet. It's one of your strongest products, and I know that you have a strong background in BD and business analysis. So that's why you're at the helm of the OKX Wallet kind of product driving key partnerships and strategic initiatives. So I'd love to hear a little bit more from you on what is it that you really do at OKX?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and hello everyone that's listening. And wow, Ignacio, your camera is so much better than mine. I just realized that. Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit introduction about me. So before joining OKX, I was working at a venture capital, specifically focused on crypto, and I saw an opportunity when OKX Wallet just was starting up. And so I joined there, and OKX Wallet has been since growing very fast, and I think it's now one of the leading platforms in terms of wallet, in terms of our NFT marketplace, and DeFi, and all of our Web3 product suite. Yeah, so from my day-to-day work, I focus on, I think, our NFT marketplace, which includes inscriptions, ruins, NFT marketplaces, launchpads, et cetera, et cetera. And another side of my job is on Discover. So it includes basically just growth campaigns. So yeah, from my day-to-day job, I talk to awesome projects just like Bondex and talk about their future plans and how we could empower them with our infrastructure, with our growth campaigns, and just general talk about ideas.
Got it. I mean, yeah, I mean, from personal experience and professional experience, I've had a really, really wonderful time working with you, Carter, and the OKX team. Um, I would say that it's impressive how large you guys are, but that you're able to work with projects with a very personal touch. We really felt that with Cryptopedia. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that. I think we did a Bondex season, obviously. We had over 600,000 participants. I think we're one of the most participated crypto campaigns on the OKX wallet. And I'd love for you to explain a little bit more about what is Cryptopedia about? Why do people do campaigns on there? For us, it was an incredible, exposure and partnership that led to a lot of user growth, social growth, and overall just amazing amazing partnership with the OKX platform. But I'd love to hear a little bit more from you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think for Cryptopedia, a lot of what it does kind of origin from its name. So crypto is general word for blockchain, and pedia. I think we used it like it's part of like Wikipedia or encyclopedia, which means just learning and studying. So the idea is we have this product where users could come over and learn about the awesome projects that we've been partnering with. The idea is that for users to systematically experience the product and the project. And obviously, we provide a lot of exposures for these projects. But the main idea is for users to learn about these products and to actually try these products and maybe have some on-chain transactions and eventually, make this product a part of their routine to actually get to know them, get to know the product, and use the product in their when they need it. Yeah. So yeah, Bondex is definitely one of the more successful campaigns that we had on Cryptopedia. We also had partners, like various partners before. Some are very famous, like Sui, Lido, Polygon, and I'm seeing Aptos there. I'm seeing Over Protocol, CCTP, etc., etc. Currently, we're running a season with Tong and Babylon, Layer, and South Protocol. So a lot of them from BTC ecosystem, and one from Tong. So yeah, so that's a general idea. I'm glad you liked it. You experienced, you appreciate our efforts, and it was very nice working with you as well.
Yeah, and as I said, you guys are a really big company and big operation, but working with you guys as partners really was a very kind of homey, cozy, and process in which you felt very hands on. And that takes me to my next question, which is OKX is a very, very large organization, and it's at the intersection of traditional finance, given that it's kind of a centralized exchange and infrastructure, and it's going to be very robust to handle all these millions of users. And at the same time, it's on the edge of crypto and innovation, right? So how do you balance both? How do you balance having one foot in each kind of vertical?
Oh yeah, there's yeah, it's definitely very very challenging, but we still do it. I think one part of like really balancing it out and is we pay the utmost attention to the legal and compliance. So blockchain in its nature is relatively new to the world. A lot of I guess the legislations is it's not quite up to the growth of the entire sector. So we make sure we pay the utmost attention to the newest legislations, to the local laws. Things could be very different from places to places. Yeah, so definitely that's the very important for the centralized part of things. And for the Web3 part of things, which includes the wallets, the tokens, NFTs, it definitely needs even more attention to that part, to the legislation and legal part of things. And yeah, and I think um, uh, besides that, another thing is we have very specialized teams in both in different areas, not only from centralized exchange to the CeFi part of things, and also to the Web3 part of things. Just let's just talk about like Web3 part of things. For Web3 product suite, we have our wallet, we have our NFT marketplace, we have our growth campaigns, we have our DEXs, we have our DeFi sections. It's very hard to find a person who is I don't think it's possible to find a person who is the expert in all of these different areas. So we have amazing teams from all walks of life, from a very diverse background, and everybody's focusing on their specific field. Yeah, so I think yeah, that's basically how we could
No,
handle these things. Yeah,
you've
really
answered it
amazing
super.
specialized teams.
You've answered it super well, and I think that it's no surprise why you guys are one of the leading exchanges in the world, and just a stamp of quality and credibility and trust that it's very, very hard to attain. There's a lot of players that don't play by the rules like that, don't follow these legislations, and are not as careful, and that's what gives you guys, I think, a filter of quality that it's very hard to match. And regarding this, which is you've touched on, right, legislation, I think a little trend lately has been more sustainable tokenomics. I think that you're in a good perspective to see a lot of tokenomics and projects, from your point of view in the market. And I think that the old kind of the alternative space has been struggling throughout the summer. We'll talk about market conditions later and things like that, because I love your view on that as well. But what would you say about innovation on tokenomics? What are some of the trends that you're seeing lately on tokenomics? What are some of the more interesting things that you're finding, maybe in terms of new things that are coming up when people are trying to connect products and services with the token economy?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think like I was definitely an expert on tokenomics because when I was in VC, I haven't been like keeping in touch with like the overall evolving, but from my standpoint, I definitely have seen a lot of interesting ideas and interesting experiments with how tokens could be handled. I think like one of the things, the overall trend is definitely like the airdrops. I think a lot of very big, like major blockchains and a lot of very popular blockchains projects and just chains in general. They're very successful with airdrop before, and what I've been seeing recently is the airdrop is it's not as a popular thing as before. I think it started with the idea the projects wants to reward their early adopters and their long-term supporters. But ever since the airdrop has become I guess more or less incentivized. I could definitely say a more and more turn to like airdrop hunting studios and chains trying to block off the sables, the sables in general, and the actual early adopters they're not getting much from these airdrops anymore. So it really become a lose-lose situation, and I have been seeing a lot of projects struggling in this process during their TGE, and a lot of more projects are trying new things to interact with their early adopters and to enforce harsher Sable rules, etc., etc. One of another trend I've seen is users or the blockchain projects they're experimenting with node cells, so where the users or like the users would like buy node from the projects, and as they're running the nodes, they got tokens for these nodes, so that they have like initial sort of investment into the project, and by running the nodes, they're also securing the safety of the blockchain. So there's a continuously contributing while getting tokens. So yeah, that's definitely one of the new method I have been seeing. Yeah, a lot of very interesting things. I'm curious to hear your ideas as well. Yeah, this is
I mean, on the airdrop subject, definitely very experienced there. We've had our own airdrop, right? And the idea was have an initial airdrop to reward the early contributors, but it does come with certain tasks that everyone has to complete, including filling out the resume, uploading the resume, filling out our professional profile, right? We're Web3 LinkedIn. So everyone, in order to qualify, needed to have to earn a certain amount of reputation points. So we certainly made the task something that was very hard to do with bots. And we did get backlash, but we do know that at the end of the day, some of the backlash and FUD comes from the civil farmers, right? Which at the end of the day are also not helping our early contributors. And these civil farmers, they're mean. They also even, if they want to put pressure on a project to TGE, because a lot of people, due to market conditions, delayed their TGE, including ourselves, right? Market conditions, advice from exchanges, different product. Like a lot of people delayed from the summer, and then you would have all of this incredible amount of fun on your socials. And we started doing analysis, and a lot of them are bots, and some of them you can connect to the same sources. So that means that there's this airdrop farmer that wants you to TGE now, not because he cares about the other users, the community, or the company itself. They just want a quick buck as quick as possible. They don't really care. They're going to dump, right? They're not in it for the long term. And so I do understand how the airdrop incentives is a double-edged sword. Even though in crypto in the past it has really helped people to bootstrap large amount of users, which essentially is a new form of marketing through tokenization. The ugly side of it became the fact that it did not get much retention and actually product market fit. You only retained and got a little bit of engagement out of the users that got incentivized through that airdrop. And For us, it's all about, maybe it needs a new name from Airdrop, but like we do a value redistribution, right, on a quarterly basis, and we call it seasonal, right? Season one, season two, season three, and the idea is that the monetization and revenues from Bondex will then be redistributed through airdrops to users that are already holding tokens and put their tokens down and do all the things that they need to do for the season, which will add value to the value of the Web3 professional network. Also as new users that can also showcase what they've done in that last season. So that way you reward new users, old users, but also it's about the monetization. So having a sustainable form of revenue that you're basically revenue sharing through the airdrop. It's not just like you're eating into your treasury and the reward all depends on the value, and then it just creates sales pressure and not really the most loyal audience and community. So listen, as you said, it's a hard thing to balance. I think a lot of people have come to realize that that's the effects that they're having in the market now. So it's about designing sustainable forms of reward distributions and also being conscious of the different audiences within a project, right? We have clients that look to us for talent. We have recruiters who do matchmaking to get bounties. We have community builders who are kind of airdrop chasing and like to enjoy the project. They want to speculate, and then we have the talent users who build their profiles and want to get jobs and talent, right? So different audiences need different incentives, different messaging. Hard to navigate, hard to balance all of these, aspects. But I think everyone needs to adapt because, as you said, right, airdrops are not being effective anymore. That means the exchanges don't find this type of, I guess, social farming as useful anymore because they've seen the effects that it has on the tokenomics and the projects and the value and the price of those tokens. Therefore, people need to adjust the playbook. That's crypto, right? The playbook is constantly evolving, adjusting.
Yes,
So you just
constantly
need to.
evolving, man.
It's so fast. It's so fast. Which brings me to that next question. Actually, this is a disclaimer. Obviously, this is not financial advice to anyone from either Carter or me at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're just going to talk
I
about
should.
general market conditions, which is, how do you see the market at the moment? It's been kind of a strange summer, but I'd love for you to put your kind of, I guess, your market hat on. How do you see the current conditions? How do you see the different scenarios potentially for after the summer?
Oh man, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like reminds me of the disclaimer part. It's definitely if we're going to talk about market condition, definitely a disclaimer first. None of whatever I say is financial advice, and none of whatever I say represents the institution or the company that I work for. It's just all all speculations, all friendly talks and discussions. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think like from what we have seen before, the last I guess 12 months is definitely has been good for the I guess for the market in terms of the token, the market condition. I think it sort of started with a Bitcoin ecosystem where users are finding new ways to interact with Bitcoin, finding new narratives and new protocols were made and new forms of assets was released. And then we sort of see this momentum lead to different chains, like Solana was definitely one of them. And yeah, and then I think a lot of speculation was revolving around the interest rate and the ETF getting passed. And now this big news is and a lot of speculation source has already happened and landed, and the narratives sort of shorts down there. And now we're seeing market conditions definitely not as good as what was going on during the past year. But but overall, personally, I'm pretty optimistic about our future. Just because from my day-to-day work, I have seen a lot of projects are still putting their foot down and one step with another step, to push things forward, to build new products, to build new communities and experimenting with new ideas. And yeah, and that's definitely part of the cycle where the narratives and momentums are always faster than the builders. So yeah, I've been talking to a lot of great builders, and yeah, they're building new products and new yeah, and I think from later on, Bitcoin ecosystem will probably still be the center of the momentum, and then Bondex like the consumer apps will definitely benefit from the overall blockchain attentions and cycles. So yeah, yeah. Disclaimers again. None of this is financial advice, and
No, Carter, thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're optimistic and that you, from your perspective, you see a lot of projects being built. For me, because I'm building a single project, I don't have as wide of a market perspective. I do, however, have seen some interesting dynamics that have been, surprising, which is the dynamic of the cycles has changed. I think you used to have a bull market in which Bitcoin and Ethereum lifted all boats. Then those gains went into alts, and then the alts had a really great time and got funded. But I think that the retail investors have gotten a lot smarter with alts because a lot of them did not deliver on the kind of the promise and the vision and the milestones that they set for themselves. And they see that now in this cycle, right? And then now they have to compete with memes. So the liquidity is going to memes, and that's attracting more of the short-term gambling side of things, which is one of the use cases of crypto, which is casino as a service essentially. And so now that you have to compete with the memes in the casino, the alts have to be very selective. They have to be very high quality. They need sustainable business models, tokenomics that make sense. It can't just all be about narrative or hype anymore. It's actually starting to look a lot more like memes or casino, and the alts need to resemble maybe more traditional venture, right? Startups in Web 2, which have sustainable business models, it's still going to be a hybrid. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. That's how I feel about the dynamics of the market now. So I am interested to see what happens after the summer when people get back from the summer, how trading affects, all the different sides of the market, which I see as kind of like Bitcoin and Ethereum alts. And within alts, you have the blue chips, which are the ones that have made it through one or several cycles. So they're kind of more secure. They have wide ecosystems. New alts are just the rest, right? And then the memes. So I'm excited to see the meme cycle has been extremely strong, and it's been crazy to watch. I'm not a trader, right? I'm a builder, but it's been like even adrenaline just looking from the side. So I'm interested to see how the new cycle and the new playbooks come to life in the new year, and we at Bondex are certainly adapting to it. Um, Actually, that brings me to another thing, which is meme coins and tap apps. How do you view this more speculative asset classes, digital assets? Obviously, OKX has some of them, on the platform, but like, you know, how do you see this asset class and the
yeah, yeah.
trends there?
Yeah, like I don't think I can speak too much in terms of the memes. Like I'm not
Well,
a yeah,
if
like
you can't,
super.
if you cannot speak, we
Mm.
can go to another subject. Don't worry.
Oh no, 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 it's all right. No, I mean it's just like I don't really understand memes because how
Okay.
do they happen and how do they why people treat them. I really don't understand that. It's I guess about that's why they're called memes. I guess it's a cultural thing, and you never know why or why. But definitely in terms of the apps, like especially on Telegrams, I have definitely seen, or I have a theory why it's being popping up, why it's getting a lot of attention. And yeah, I think the reason for that, and also like the liquidity is being drawn into the memes. A part of that is because it has been a while since abundant of new users have come into the blockchain ecosystem. So the liquidity is more or less not expanding, but really competing with each other. And I think the narrative or the idea that we could build mini apps and blockchain apps on Telegram is very attractive to the users, because we kind of see like the next million or billion users could be onboarded through Web2 platforms such as Twitters and Telegrams. So yeah, so when people say yeah, the Telegram mini apps is a way for people to build, people got excited for it. And the tab mini apps is definitely on the forefront of this narrative currently. I definitely see a lot of it coincidence with airdrops and the idea of airdrops. But a lot of the Telegram mini app builders that have been talking to and um, I guess working with, I have seen like they're building actual quality dApps on Telegram, and that's very exciting to see. And even the tab games, I see they're also evolving into the actual games that people could play. I think a lot of Web2 builders from other social platforms are sort of turning into Telegram mini app, because how the platform is open to blockchain builders. So yeah, so from the mini app side, yeah, I definitely to conclude my theories. I think the idea that a Web2 platform is bringing the next abundance of the users. That's one, and the tab games might not seem that sophisticated, but I think it's definitely a preview of what is about to come on these social platforms. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to
No,
happen.
I I love your views. We're super aligned actually. We have one tab game app called Bunny Blitz based on our mascot Bondin already in the market. I think it's got about 500,000 players already. And the way we thought about it was is a different way of rewards distribution and experimenting with those airdrops. Getting that audience, I think that the next billion users for crypto are people who own digital assets, but they hang out in Web2 social networks and platforms, right? And how do you build these bridges? Well, the Ton ecosystem has given us kind of a bridge. So I completely agree with you. That's why at Bondex, we're always about Web 2.5, meaning a Web 2 experience, social experience with the benefits of blockchain, but in the background, abstracting those complexities from the user experience. That's why we built a tab game for our mascot, but we're also now halfway through building our Ton mini app that we've got a grant from Ton ecosystem on, and I call it social recruitment. So it's going to be a game with bounties for people to recommend their friends that connects to the job portal and marketplace. So we are building bridges and really cool things with the Ton ecosystem, precisely, Carter, because of what you said. We see the potential there to attract a lot of users and a lot of audience and a new, new kind of, crypto users which haven't been on board with the space in a long time, as you pointed out. Um, and
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you were aware. We've been on that chat for so long. I don't know if you knew we had thrown a few things out there in the market. I'll send you some links after the call.
Oh, for
When
sure. I'd
you
love to try out the bunny game, man.
I'll send you the Bunny Blitz game, man, for sure. And the other game is really exciting because we're mixing like gambling, ton, and recruitment to I call it DJ social recruitment, which is going to be really cool. And I cannot wait to show. And I think those things are really going to help us increase kind of, they're meant as bridges to help the Bondex ecosystem. So any companies out there, you should be thinking about not just building things from scratch, but like building bridges from the Ton ecosystem and the other social networks, right? And that applies to Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is, right? That's where the next billion users are sitting. They're sitting in the Web2 social platforms, like you said. And now we're nearing the end of our discussion today. I just wanted to let you, number one, thank you for coming on. But what are some of the exciting things that we have to look forward to with OKX between now and the end of the year, Q3, Q4? What are some of the things that our community, our users should be on the lookout for exciting updates of the OKX Web3 ecosystem?
Definitely, yeah, yeah. I think one of the things we've been working on is making changes to our UI, to our apps, so that the Web2 users would feel more friendly to the Web3 users. And I think to echo through, what we have talked about, very briefly, I mean, just then, I think the idea is definitely to onboard Web2 users and build that bridges to Web3 users. So I guess Web3 products has been notoriously unfriendly to new users. And we have been seeing that the barrier of entrance has been getting lower and lower with Telegram mini apps, with new dApps, with and we want to join that. We want to join the efforts. So we're trying to make our wallet or exchange to be as friendly to the new users as possible. I think one of the things is we recently announced that we have integrated over 100 chains. So that's a pretty big thing in the market. What the reason is that it makes trading and interacting with different chains that much easier. I remember like 2 years or 3 years ago, every time I get on a new chain, I have to make a new wallet, and every time I try to trade on new chains, I have to find a new DEX, a new bridges. So that's the idea with OKX Web3 is so that users don't have to go through what I have to go through to make things as easy as possible. And now we're bringing that changes not only from the infrastructure side, but also to the user experience side. So that's very exciting. And I think another thing, and you probably kind of get the idea, is we're definitely putting on a lot of supports to the Telegram mini apps ecosystem, to the Town ecosystem. We've been trying to support Town chain and Telegram mini apps as much as possible, and we're very excited to see where it leads us.
Fantastic, Carter. Thank you very much. That was super complete. So you've all heard it here. OKX Web3 Wallet is the multi-chain universal wallet that you need across all asset classes and chains to navigate the Web3 world. Carter, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you also for all the work we've done together so far. It's been a real pleasure. The partnerships that OKX and Bondex has done so far, for coming here and talking with us today. Look forward to working together more in the future with the OKX ecosystem. And thank you to all the Bondex for tuning in. Another successful edition of the Bondex Talks. More to come in the future. And Carter, thanks again for coming. Have a great day.
Thanks for your time as well. And thanks for
Thank you, everyone.
everybody for listening. Again, thanks. Have a good time.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, Bondex.